Okay.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, everyone,
Welcome
to
in the
the Indie Game Academy.
party.
Wow.
Wow, that was great. That was my first time trying the voice.
I kind of hated it. It's good.
Well, if you want to start us off, Willem.
Sure. Yeah, hello, everybody. Welcome to the jam. So this is the kickoff for the networking jam. We're going to do a couple of different things tonight. We'll first here introduce the Indie Game Academy. Then we're going to give you a little tiny micro lesson. We're going to introduce you to what challenge jams are, and then we're going to announce the theme to everybody so you can get started. So the Indie Game Academy is an online school for game devs. We like to gamify everything we do. We help turn students into game devs and game devs into indie studio founders. We're on a perpetual quest to empower the game creative to pave their own path, and we do this with a 3-level system. Honestly, you can just skip the 3-level system. It's not really about that tonight. All right. Welcome to the Networking Jam. We run one game jam here every 3 months, and this is it for the networking. Tyler says theme. This is it for the networking season. This is what IGA does better than anybody else. You've seen it before. Let's keep going. And this is our mission. You've seen it before. Here's our video meeting request. Please keep your camera on if you're cool with it, and then keep yourself muted unless you're jumping in to ask a question or anything else. 3 core agreements. For tonight's event, this is largely a kickoff. After we actually tell you the theme, you are welcome to leave. Part of what we're doing differently for this jam, part of why we're calling it the networking jam, is because you're welcome to form teams here in the gather space. So this gather will be open all weekend. You're willing, you can come in and use it, actually hang out with each other. It does have a cap of 55 people, which we figured probably wouldn't be an issue, but we're at 50 right now, so we'll see.
We're at 50, yeah.
Yeah. So for online events of ours, coming into our castle or sitting here hanging out with us on camera, we have 3 things that we ask from everybody when you come into our space. So please keep these in mind and be considerate. Number 1 is to keep it fun. We're a game development school. We're here to make games. One of the primary things we deliver as game developers is fun and joy. So let's enjoy ourselves in this classroom as much as we can. Let's be silly and let's have fun. Next one. Number 2 is to celebrate as much as possible, which means I have to teach you about gather. So hit the escape button for me, and that will close the entire slideshow for a second. You can always click back into it. And then once you've hit escape, I would like everybody at the same time. I'm going to do a countdown. All right, well, Muhammad did it alone. On 3, 2, 1, I want you to hit the F key. 3, 2, and 1. Yes. Oh, my God. All right, no more. Cut the Fs. Amazing. Wow. So that is your celebration button. If you're hanging out with team members this weekend, you figured out a problem together, everybody hit F. Celebrate yourselves. All right, no more Fs. Cut the Fs, please. Thank you.
It's always fun when you get 51 excited people in
Yeah.
the room.
F for fun. I wonder if you can turn that off, actually. And then
I hope you can't.
And then if you want to celebrate a little bit more quietly, you can hit the Z button. Everybody can try hitting Z. So the reason that we celebrate at the Indie Game Academy is, of course, it sets the right tone. If you would actually please stop doing the Fs for right now, just so we can get through the slideshow. I appreciate you, though. So the reason that we celebrate is to, 1, just make it fun, of course. But 2, it actually helps us learn better. We tend to remember those things that have high emotional impact on us. Many of you have been in class with us, have heard us say this before. So by celebrating, we raise the emotional impact and we actually tend to remember things better. Next slide. And our last core agreement, please, is to be kind and patient with each other. We're all at different walks of life. We all believe different things. We all want different things out of the world. So as much as possible, let's make this a kind, considerate space. Remember that culture is a mirror. If we're jerks to other people, they'll be jerks back. If we're nice to other people, they'll be kind. So let's be kind with each other, please. And that's it. All right. Are we jumping straight into this? I can.
We can skip over to the theme reveal, and then we can go back to the This is just where I pasted the slides in.
Okay, okay. Now we can do this. All right. So then before we actually reveal the theme and let you hang out and form teams with each other, I'm going to do a 5-minute intro to networking for everybody. This is the networking season, and you're about to do some networking right now. That is exactly why we did this jam. So that hopefully all of you are going to find friendos through this jam and actually collaborate with each other. One thing that I would ask from everybody here, a personal request, is to try to work with somebody this weekend, at least one other person that you have not worked with in the past. That is to help you network. Networking is pivotal in games. Up to 80% of game industry jobs are filled by referral. So if you don't network, you're a little bit doomed. It's best to network. It's best to make connections. That's going to be one of the main ways you find jobs in the industry. And jams are really a phenomenal way to do that. They're also a phenomenal way to test how you work with other people and hopefully make some friendos. So a request for all of you, try working with at least one other person you haven't worked with this weekend. I'm going to give you a little bit of little thought on how to do that. All right. So when networking, when making friends either on the internet or in person, the actual approach is what is the most scary. And there's a reason that I'm telling you this. So many of us in game dev consider ourselves introverts. Raise your hand if you consider yourself an introvert. Yeah, figured. Lots of us. Guess what? We all are. We're game developers. We hide behind video games. That's like what we do. The fear of rejection is often what turns us away, and it's that initial approach that's actually the most difficult. Ultimately, that means practicing networking is just practicing socializing. Connecting, networking, making connections who might help you get work is literally just making friends. It's the same skill set. So if you go to the next slide, something that I want all of you to start doing who need to practice networking, who feel like you could use networking experience, is just practice. Exposure therapy is a psychological practice to help people overcome phobias and other fears. And all it means is that you practice. All it means is that you expose yourself to the thing that makes you nervous many times in a row. So getting better at networking just comes down to practice. Schedule time to be with other people. Actually go to events and put that time in your calendars. And remember that your first few interactions may well be scary and awkward, and that's okay. We are all feeling it. That person who you think is so confident and amazing, I'm sure you have somebody like that in your life, is also feeling awkward in their gut. They just kind of get over it and they do it anyway. After a while, you realize the truth, though, which is that we're just all people. Some people are different than other people, but we're just all people. There's no need to be anxious about it. Next slide. So let's talk about finding friends in the game industry, networking in the game industry. Next slide. There are 3 main places you can do this. Go to events, conventions, and classes. Welcome to this event. This is a phenomenal way for you to make friends and find connections and potential collaborators. One of the things that we put in our How to Start an Indie Game Studio flowchart is doing a couple of jams with a few people that you may be co-founders, because it is a perfect way to vet that person. Can I work with this person? Can we make incredible video games together? So things like this is actually perfect. Jams are perfect. But Eventbrite, GameConfGuide.com, and Meetup are great places to find other events as well. Next one is online and IRL in real life communities. Hitmarker has a wonderful list of potential Discords that you can join up. Actually, in the chat, why don't you leave some of your favorite communities, either Discords or Facebook, or any other places that you might find friends, maybe a local game store or something like that. Anybody who works in the industry that you can connect with. Communities are one of the best places to do that, and also you get support and wonderful things like this with us ourselves. Jess, actually, if you would, or I can, I'll drop the Discord sign up link in case anybody's not in there already. Besides communities, though, this is the thing that you could do no matter where you are in the world and no matter if you can find communities, and that is to cold call. Anybody know what cold calling is? Alex, what's cold calling? Wizard Alex, the writer.
Yeah.
Yes, hello.
Cold calling is basically a practice of, hey, we've never met before, but here's my quick 30-second or 3-sentence pitch of who I am. Let's be friends.
Yeah, basically.
Perfect.
Yeah, we did a couple of networking events. We invited Tim Wood, who runs Right Finder Headhunting. He's a recruiter. And he made the joke that it's basically just like being a golden retriever, just running up to people and being like, hey, what's up? And that really is it. I made the joke during that event that one of my good friends on LinkedIn now is a dude named Tywick Stallworth. Some of you may know him. He is known for kind of like hard rules about what you're doing wrong in game dev and how to improve. He's very like, he'll tell you what he thinks you're weak on. I, on the other hand, am eternally optimistic and like silly and goofy. The way that I connected with Tyvik is I literally sent him a message on LinkedIn that just said, hey, I think we should be arch nemesis. That was the exact networking line, and it worked because I knew it would be funny. I knew he would find it funny judging upon who he was. So cold calling just comes down to finding connections that you want to connect with. That's step one. Step two is to learn about them a little bit. Copying and pasting cold call messages is one of the biggest, the surest ways to fail. So make sure you're actually writing something that's kind of personal. In that case with Tyvik, I wrote like 5 words and it worked because I knew that Tyvik would find that funny. I'd spent the time to understand Tyvik a little bit. And you can do cold calling on LinkedIn all day long. You can spend a couple of hours doing that a week and you'll have amazing connections within a couple of months. So that's something I recommend as well. Next slide. All right. Now, here, we're going to give you a chance to network. And one of the main things you'll be doing is trying to form a team. So here are some thoughts on what you should look for in a potential team member for jam projects or for collaborating in a larger forum. The first one, and I think the most important, is similar objectives. That could be personal objectives or that could be objectives for the jam. If you have somebody who just wants to make a game for fun and somebody else who wants to make the best game of all time, that might conflict and you might not be able to work well together. So look for similar objectives. Next, look for a compatible tech stack. If you have one person who knows Unreal, another person who knows Unity, you're going to have problems. So make sure you're using similar or at least compatible engines and tools. Number 3 is to look for compatible disciplines. So at IGA, we've kind of discovered that we have this base 5. This feels like the sort of minimum foundational 5 people who can put together a studio. And that is having a project manager, somebody to lead, having an engineer, somebody to lead and somebody to organize, having an engineer, somebody to code, having an artist, someone to make it pretty, having a design and narrative person, somebody to make it fun, and then having an audio and other creatives. There are plenty of other roles that could fit into that slot. So if you're unsure about who to look for, ask yourself who you are on that list, and then try to find people that sort of complete that 5. And definitely, especially in indies, one person can fulfill multiple of those roles, and you can definitely have duplicates, etc. Also look for similar levels of enthusiasm. If you're golden retriever energy and you find, I don't know, what's a dog breed that would just not get along with golden retrievers? Like pug energy, maybe?
Bulldog.
Chihuahua energy. Yeah, if you got that golden retriever energy and you find somebody who's got that Chihuahua energy, that's probably not going to mix that well. And then and then similar favorite genres. I wouldn't say that's terribly important, but if all of you are like big deck builder fans, that'll help you get along and also help you build a similar game together. And then finally, if they just seem cool, it doesn't need to be anything more than that. Like, a person seems cool, I'll work with them. All right, next slide.
Well, I did find, just to make the next part of the networking a lot easier, and I'm sure some of you guys see other people in this community have this, if you change your name by selecting the pencil in the bottom left hand of the screen, if you're on a computer, you're able to change your name. And if you put your vertical as well as which engine you prefer to work in, it'll make networking a lot easier because you'll be able to identify people who may have similar needs to what you have in your group. But we do encourage you to talk to everybody, or at least as many people as possible. You don't have to be limited just to other people who are fitting your needs, but this is also just a chance for you to get to know other people in the community and in game development.
Love that. Yeah, so change your name, pencil in the bottom left. If nothing else, just say hi to some folks. I recommend connecting on LinkedIn. That's a great way to start and a great way to make sure you are building a network. So connect with everybody here on LinkedIn. If you're watching a Discord, connect with other people there. Drop it in the chat there. And then, of course... Ooh!
I made a document.
Oh, sweet.
Here, and you can enter in your LinkedIn and your name, engines, as well as what you do. And it's a way for you to find people, because I know it can get really lost in the chat with all those LinkedIn links.
That's awesome. I didn't know you were going to do that. That's perfect. What a good resource.
All right.
Hooray.
I know a lot of the people that are in here were in the event earlier today, so feel free to connect with them as well. But keep in mind they may have a different time zone from you. So that's also something definitely to take into account when getting these teams together, is discussing what your time expectation will be for
Mm-hmm.
these games.
Love that. I've got nothing else to say, Jess, so take it away from here.
So say hi. All right. So what the heck is this jam? Great question.
Tyler,
Um,
we're almost there. Tyler has been
Tyler's
shouting.
been waiting for hours.
Yeah. We should actually, can we slow down and
So
take a pause just for Tyler's sake? I'm just kidding.
just for Tyler, are we taking a moment of silence for Tyler?
Yeah.
Oh, Mike, if only the theme was Chihuahua. I should have done that. That would have been right on theme with just me, but all right. So as we said before, we are challenging you all to work with at least one person you've not worked with before. Um, it's just in line with the networking theme. This weekend, you'll make a game. It must be an original game created within the time constraints of the jam. It should not be a game that you've been working on or worked on previously, and it shouldn't be a game that you've submitted to another jam. All assets that you use must be owned by you or your team or are legally used. We don't want any copyright infringement to be happening with this jam. It should be all hopefully originally sourced or free assets that you have. Please also follow our guidelines for conduct listed on the HIO page. Keep things as PG as possible. Nothing, no safe that are not safe for work. Nothing that would be offensive. Just keep those things in mind. It goes along with our theme of being kind and joyful. We want to make sure that no one is getting offended by anything in the game jam. So here are the guidelines. It's going to be a classic 72-hour jam. At the end of this, we'll announce the theme, Tyler. The theme is completely up to your own unique interpretation. And we encourage you to work on a team, but you can choose to work by yourself if you so choose. Constraints: submissions are due by Monday, January 15th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. If you're late to submit, please just reach out to me directly on Discord so I can assist you with getting that submission up. But please do try to get these submitted as soon as possible so that they can be ranked accordingly. One submission per team. So if you're working on a team, just have one person submit so we don't have a bunch of duplicate games that we need to go through. And the voting begins directly after the submissions close.
And it is peer
What's
voted.
the process? Yeah. Peer voted, yes. So it's all going to be up to you guys to vote on the games. So make sure that after the voting or after the submissions happen, you come back and play everybody's creations and judge fairly. The judging criteria, speaking of, so the networking jam is judged by the entrance to the jam. You will have a few days. Please play as many games as possible and score them. And the judging criteria are creativity, theme, implementation, fun, and visuals. And then also just the overall top score. But keep in mind, we want this to be fun at the same time. So we understand that judging can feel not great at times. Willem, do you have any kind words to say about judging?
Yeah, I think there's always a double-edged sword with any kind of competition. The positive side, or I guess I'll start. The negative side of competition is that sometimes we can feel crappy. Somebody comes in last place, and somebody else comes in second to last place. But the positive of competition, and part of the reason that we do it as often as we do it, is because it compels you to be better. And that's the best side of competition. So even if you do come in last place, my words for you are try to accept it as a learning moment and go, dang, I'm going to do better next time. It can definitely hurt a little bit. I get that. Let's all be as kind to each other about it as we can. Let's try to make this just fun and enjoy ourselves and look at this as a wonderful learning opportunity and just a fun jam.
So we are going to be offering prizes. We'll have a closing ceremony next week. We will announce the time and date as soon as possible. Um, the top overall game will win a $50 Steam gift card. Or I didn't change this. It's $100. I'm so sorry. It's a $100 gift card.
Wait.
And the top game for each category will be a $50 Steam gift card. Winners
Oh.
also receive 20% off of our level 2 and level 3 classes to be redeemed within 2024 as well. Okay. So any questions before you reveal the theme?
I have
Any
one. Is that
questions
per
about-
member, the gift cards, or is that like one for the entire theme?
It'll be for the entire team to be split up between your team, depending on how many members you'll have.
It'll be up to you on how to split it. But yes.
Yes. We wish we could give everybody $100.
I do have a quick question too.
Yeah.
The jam page for the networking jam. It says on my end it says that the jam ends on 6:30 p.m. on January 15th and I'm Eastern time. I was curious.
Yes, I'm changing that.
Oh, you
yeah.
are. Okay, sorry.
Yes, so we will have a couple extra hours. Yeah, I just needed. I made a game time decision to give you guys a couple extra hours that day, especially given that for anybody in the United States it is a holiday, so it is an extra day to be working on it.
Mhm.
So
Awesome.
we will be closing on that midnight. I'll be changing that.
Awesome. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of
I
course.
had a quick question about the voting process, or just like the
Sure.
the process. So, is it going to be individually, or since we're in teams, will the team have a vote, like a consensus board?
It is individually. So if everybody is signed up through the itch.io page, it will be individuals that are able to go in and vote rather than as a team. I think it would be hard to do it as a team. Any
I
other
saw
questions? I don't even know if there's any questions in Discord, but
I saw that you said that there was prizes per category. What do you mean by categories? Like type of game?
it's by based on the if I can go if this allows me to go back. It's based on the judging criteria. So each of the 4 judging
Oh,
top
okay.
games for the judging criteria, that will be the winners of those gift cards.
So the top one game gets $100, and then the top one game per category gets 50, which means you could actually win more than $100. If one game just sweeps it, that's $300 for the team. So
Are there any constraints about AI generated content?
ooh, good question.
That is a good question.
It's like the theme policy probably best, because like I know if you're gonna do AI stuff with Steam, they're getting really restricted with that.
Yeah, I might.
Yeah.
I think I would. Well, you know what? Let's do this. Vote of hands. In Gather, you can hit the emoji button in the bottom middle. I'm a bit mixed personally, which is why I'm not just telling you how it should be. I feel like AI is a wonderful, basically, prototyping tool, but the side of it that's dangerous is when it replaces people's jobs. So let's get a raise of hands in Gather. It's in the bottom middle of your screen. If you hit escape, you don't need to look at Jess's screen. Hit the little smiley face and then raise a hand. Raise a hand if you think AI should be allowed. Go ahead. Yeah. All right. I'm going to say no AI for this jam. Maybe we'll reconsider it for future jams. Great question, though. We hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, definitely. I know that's been coming up a lot lately, so it's good that that was clear. And I'll make the HIO page clear that there's no AI allowed as well. So there's no confusion. Yeah, you're welcome, Sky. Yeah, Corey goes to get an F. Okay. All right. So are you guys? Do you guys want to just skip the theme? I guess.
Tyler, do you want to come announce the theme? Just kidding. Just go sit. Actually, No, it's fine. All right, let's do it, Jess.
All right. Okay. So the theme. What's the theme? Drum roll, please.
Yeah! And the theme is... Yeah!
Collaboration. So it's up to interpretation. However you guys feel that applies to you, applies to the game. There's a lot of different ways you can interpret collaboration.
Bye, Tyler.
Bye, Tyler. Thanks for coming. But we're really excited to see what you guys come up with. It really feels like it falls in line with the idea of a networking theme. And I can't wait to see what you guys create. All right. Okay.
Yes. So you are now welcome.
Any last words?
Yeah. Good luck. Remember to enjoy this as much as possible. We have a little bit of the competition going on to make it exciting, but this is a friendly competition. It's meant to help you network. It's meant to help you build your portfolio. So insist on making an amazing game and do your best to build some teamworking skills and hopefully find some people that you might collaborate with again in the future. Don't forget to share LinkedIn. Don't forget to just say hi and do a little bit of that exposure therapy if you're feeling anxious about meeting strangers. Like we said, the castle will be open the entire weekend, so you're welcome to jump in on Gather. It'll close, I think, right before closing time because we'll need to switch it over to level 2. But yes, you have it for the weekend at least.
Yes.
Yes.
Great. So what you guys will be able to do is all of those squares and tables over on the right-hand side of the screen, if you close out of my shared screen, those are all private spaces that you can use to begin the conversations. You can go over there and move around, talk to people, get to know people, see who you may want to be working with, and just make some new friends, make some new teammates. We do encourage you to move around and see who else you can talk to, but let's hopefully make some connections happen for you guys. So, yep, there's 9 tables, so just mill about. There should be spaces for everybody. And yeah, thank you guys so much for coming, and go out there and make new friends.
Go make friends, y'all. Awesome. Best of luck to all of the adventurers.
And keep